Hey everybody, Robert from Meis Morphs here with where hedge on all my boas, all of them right here, up here with me, up on the second floor area. They are all strictly frozen thawed. I do not feed them live at all. Boas are like pretty much garbage compactors. They'll just take anything. Rats, rabbits. I think one time I fed one of them a frozen guinea pig, but for the majority, it's large, extra large, double extra large rabbit. Oh, excuse me. It's either large to triple XL rats and extra small to small rabbits. I don't bother going any higher on the rabbits because I don't have the space to keep a whole bunch of larger frozen rabbits, but the smaller ones fit in nicely in the freezer downstairs, which is in the other snake room, the ball pythons. But I don't bother feeding the boas anything live. I might feel splurgy enough to feed them maybe a fresh kill, a pre-killed rat or something like that, something warm. You know, just change things up. But in order to do that, I have to pay an extra fee because the I gotta pay for the live rat and for the service charge to have them ethically. And some of them some of the places I go to for the rats just to do that, if they don't have any frozen ones, they use the CO2 gas chamber, or I'm not gonna say who. Some of them that don't do the gas chamber just grab the animal and just go whack, a quick sharp blow to the back of the head, and then they're just like, ugh. Kind of sucks. I have to pay extra for even that, but it is what it is. Uh, with the ball pythons, I have I still have to do live feedings for them. Some of them can do frozen and thawed, but that's because one, either I got them switched over to that myself, or they still remember to do frozen thawed from when I got them from the pet shops initially, because they were feeding them frozen thawed at the time. But it's not very easy trying to switch things over from live pre-killed to frozen thawed. I don't like the fact that there's an added amount of stress to the animal by trying to feed it something frozen thawed, even though it's warmed up with either hot water or using a heat lamp or something like that, because it for some reason I figure the snake realizes it's not exactly its typical type meal, and they become disinterested really quick, or the thing just loses heat real quick and they just don't go for it. Uh, for the ones that do go for the frozen thawed, I still feed them live. I only use frozen thawed as a backup in case, uh, say, like the issues that I've been having here lately with getting a shipments or bulk orders of live rats and mice. Uh, I just got to use what I have to use that's available. Here lately, somebody commented, "Is like, dude, Jesus, it's feed frozen thawed. It's 2024." I'm sorry, but I don't subscribe to comments like that, especially from somebody that I checked out doesn't know jack about reptiles or anything, let alone snakes, and doesn't even live in the country. So what would they know about practices and everything? Just because the years change doesn't mean that practices also change from one end of the spectrum to another. I mean, there's still people to this day that have been in this business, in this hobby, longer than I have, that still do live feedings. And they also do frozen thaw feedings. It just depends on how easily the animal can transition to that particular type of feeding. Now, I understand people are divided over that. Some people believe that the prey item is under psychological stress, fear, all that stuff. I'm sorry, but even in captivity, I just don't believe that, because out in the wild, most predators are not really concerned about their prey's well-being as far as like them being afraid. Nature doesn't give a damn. Nature is eat or be eaten. Sorry, but I actually looked it up. Uh, from one of those random, is it legal or illegal to feed live animals to snakes in the United States? I looked it up online, and there's one of those random answers come up. And it basically says here, amongst snake owners and professional animal keeping institutions, there has been controversy regarding feeding live prey debate. Officially, it is not illegal under the 1911 Act to feed a live vertebrate to reptiles unless you cause it unnecessary suffering. Let me repeat that. It is not illegal since 1911 to feed live vertebrates to reptiles unless you cause it unnecessarily suffering. When it comes to watching a snake eat, whether it's specifically if it's live, I've always been there to supervise. I've always either held the mice by the tail with the tongs and allowed the snake to get sight and scent of movement of it and allow it to do its natural process of curling up and striking at it and grabbing it and wrapping it up. I always stay there supervising, making sure that one, the prey item doesn't bite the snake, and two, that it happens fairly quickly. And more often than not, in the time that it takes to do a feeding, which for me mostly lasts about, anywhere between a couple of seconds to maybe up to a minute, the moment I hear the snake either strike the rat or the mouse, and I hear the squeak, and then I just hear the tiny little ruckus of the snake wrapping around, I at least pull back the drawer to look to see, okay, it's got it wrapped up, and the snake's not in any danger, it's not getting injured or anything, and that the prey item, the rat or the mouse, has expired. Easy peasy. I've been doing this at least long enough to realize that there's nothing bad happening. And I've been very diligent about that. I do give a damn about my snakes. That's me being honest, that's me being truthful and transparent. I do give a damn about these animals. But I'm not going to get caught up in the debate with people that don't know anything about snakes or how to feed them or how to keep them. I'm not going to get caught up in the debate of whether or not I should switch to one form of feeding. I already have two forms of feeding to deal with all these snakes. And right now, I'm working with what I know, I'm working with what's best, and I'm working with what I have. So getting on my case, telling me to change is not your job and not your privilege. I'm doing what I have to do in order to keep these snakes alive, in order to, one, be healthy, be of good size and weight, and not obese, and in the future, breed them when they are healthy enough to do so. I don't see what the problem is. I think people really need to take their faces out of their technological freaking. Let, oh, let me rephrase that. People need to take their faces off their screens and read a book about natural science when it comes to animals and biology, and maybe watch a couple of like a Discovery Channel things. Watch how animals, particularly how snakes hunt. I mean, those used to be big things like Shark Week every summer. Shark Week. Everybody would flock around the television set, turn on the Discovery Channel, and watch for about 5 days about shark attacks or how sharks behave, how what sharks eat, all that stuff. I've never seen anybody give a big hubbubaloo about, oh, the great white shark was eating a seal. Oh, it ate a baby seal. It jumped down and freaking took it out of the water and all that stuff. It's like, I'm sorry, but that shark's got to eat. And don't give me crap about that on that one. It's like freaking people have demonized sharks just about as bad as they demonize snakes, and that has been a long, long ongoing prejudice. I'm sorry, but I mean, honestly, your opinions. Do you think the divide on the whole live feeding and frozen thaw feeding is worth debating? Or should people just mind their own business and allow people to do what they need to do in order to take care of their animals? It's that simple. I mean, right now it's already hard enough as is. You think the snake market, the snake hobby, is tough right now? Do you want to know how really hard it is right now? With so many people having gotten into it, the feeder community, the community that freaking helps us feed our snakes and our reptiles and everything, all of us in this little niche group of ours, they are having a hard enough time meeting our demands. Of all the captive bred snakes that we have now, the rodent community is having a hard time keeping up. Even the places where I go to get my feeders from for my snakes are having a hard time getting live mice in any size or live rats in any size. And if they can't get lives, then that also means they can't get frozens. And normally they would have to call from their lives to make frozens, especially if it's like a mom and pop shop. Uh, I know Petco and PetSmart, they at least have frozen stuff on hand, but it's not a lot. But they also don't sell live feeders. They just sell the frozen stuff. But for the mom and pop places I do go to, they have to maintain a constant supply of feeders. So they have to have breeding rats and breeding mice to keep up the numbers because they have a lot of people that come in sometimes on an every other day or every other week or monthly basis. I'm on a monthly basis because I have to budget everything. So when it comes to getting live rats, live mice, that's what I have to work with. If they don't have the amount in lives, rats, or mice, then I try to make up in frozen. But I purchase frozen in bulk from Rodent about uh, every month and a half to every 2 months because they got better deals when it comes to buying bulk. And that saves me a lot when it comes to feeding the boas. If I buy in bulk, mass numbers, I don't have to worry about feeding them for a while because my frozen icebox chest for where I keep all the frozen thawed stuff is stocked. And because I feed the boas on a 2 to 3 week, sometimes 4 week schedule, especially for the larger ones. I don't really have to worry about losing money on frozen thawed. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm going to keep doing what I need to do in order to feed my snakes, whether it's frozen thawed, live, or doing both. I'm sorry, but freaking to the naysayers on that stuff, you can't have it your way if you're not involved in this hobby or practice or business. If what you're interested in doesn't even involve reptiles, you should not be coming on to somebody's page or comment thread and giving that person freaking hell for it. I'm sorry. If you don't have any experience in it, you have no freaking say. And I get it. Freaking feeding another animal to another animal. But that's been going a lot longer than we have. I honestly think it should be just. I think people need to take their personal perspective out of it. I mean, like trying to find something that's triggering and then get offended over it. I think people just need to stop doing that because do you actually intend to cause drama for somebody you don't even know, don't even care, and make baseless judgments or accusations about them? You don't even, most of you freaking internet trolls don't even know who you're talking to or about. You just make up shit. Sorry. You just make stuff up because freaking you just want something to complain about. Or you take a misconstrued fact or piece of absorbed logic and you hold fast to it and you can't accept any other truths. I'm sorry, but I'm going to do what I need to do. I'm going to feed live and I'm going to feed frozen thawed. I'll either get it on film or I won't. But either way, it's going to get posted. It's going to meet the COPA terms and it's going to meet the Facebook terms and the YouTube terms. So don't bother me with your opinion, with your one-sided opinions, or that I need to get with the times. I'm already with the times. Right now, the times are freaking hard. So unless there is another alternative that's going to pop up there, which I severely doubt, because if somebody says, "Oh, feed it a vegan sausage," I'm going to look at that person and is like, "Are you freaking stupid?" All right, guys, I told you to keep it short, and I'm keeping it under 20 minutes. So thanks for showing up. Thanks for the views. Like and subscribe, and just just keep the good, positive stuff coming, because right now I need that a little bit more than the usual stuff. All right, everybody, have a good evening. Thanks, and happy Valentine's Day, y'all.